Hi, my name is Elpara. My metric number is 249912, and today we are going to talk about the urgent case of antibiotic-free animals. Antimicrobial resistance (AMR) has appeared as one of the principal public health problems in the 21st centuries. The problem with AMR, especially arrogant regarding to the antibiotic resisting in bacteria. The UN predict by 2015 antibiotic resistance will be our biggest single killers. As Liam Marshall mentioned in his speech, the very scary futures for human and animals and how it can affect us by being the reason one of death by 2015. However, the speaker has used some visual aids in his speech by presenting the numbers of the death or the people who lose their life by antibiotic resistance. In other hands, we can see that the speaker has proven he is capable to present his ideas, and he has shown his expertise in the field when he speak about the history of antibiotics when he speak about the history in antibiotic and how it was useful and harmful back then and now. However, he also predicts that it could happen to all of human and animal if we continue using the antibiotics in the wrong way. And he was giving some evidence for every statement that he made, either in a form of a statistic or analyzed done by some scholars. And he also suggested some solutions for the case. In other hand, the speaker is actually bioprocessor engineering, and that's give him the credibility to talk about this speech. Liam Marshall has mentioned in his introduction, we are using antibiotics so much that it could cause these infections by becoming resistant, and it should really scare the hell out of us. As we can see here in these statements, the main idea was to show the danger of antibiotics so much, and then he spoke up in the details about how it's going to affect it and how we can contain the situation and avoid it. Thank you. I'm gonna pass it.
Hi, I am Nora Sabrina, 256655. So the main points of the speech and its explanation. The first point, which is also the problem, is antibiotics are overused, especially by animals, and the bacteria that cause deadly infections are now becoming more resistant. So Marshall is trying to highlight how bad is the situation is if no measure is being taken. So the second point, which is also the solutions, farmers should be working on antibiotic-free production by taking care of the hygiene of the stables, by feeding better foods for the animals, and also to change the water into more acidic water. Marshall provides the solutions based on his credibility and knowledge to solve the problem. The main points are supported by using examples and statistics. As for statistics, Marshall stated that United Nations predicts that by 2050, antimicrobial resistance will become the world's single biggest killer, since 50 to 80% of antibiotics are used by animals. As for examples, Marshall gave example of Germany and Netherlands, which they are already 10 to 50% lower in the usage of protein content in piglet diets than in a country such as the UK.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Fatina Ziha binti Osman. My metric number 256695. So I will continue with our group presentation with speech analysis. We find out that the speech organization that the speaker used, which is Liam Marshall, is a problem solution order. Problem solution order is divided by two parts, which is the first part, this speaker will tell the audience about the existence and the seriousness of the problem. And in this speech, Liam Marshall said about the antibiotic that are widely used by the animals. And for the second part, the speaker suggest the solution for the problem that exists. The speaker suggests a three solution. With the first solution, he said that farmers should make sure the hygiene of the stables so that the bacteria won't spread. And for the second solution is farmers should make sure to feed the animals with a better and nutritious food. And for the last solution for antibiotic-free production is by making sure the water is fed by the acidic so that the bacteria could inhibit the pathogens. So we move to the next analysis, which is the language that the speaker used. We found out that the speaker used the rhythm of language, which is repetition. Repetition means that the speaker repeat the same words in his sentences. For the example, the speaker did say about the for the sentence that he said is, but live with better hygiene, better nutrition helps but will not only prevent from becoming sick. So in this sentence, the speaker repeat the words of better for twice, and then the speaker use also the language of alliteration. Alliteration means that a repetition of initial consonant sound close or adjoining words. So in this speech, Marshall said, better health, less stress, happier life. So by stressing the sounds of the sentences, alliteration captures listeners' attention and make it easy to recall the thoughts. So we move to the next analysis, which is cognitive that the speaker used. We found out that the speaker used a transition, which is a phrase term that he has finished his thought and ready to go to the next point. For example, he said, let me walk you through the playbook to start, and it sounds very obvious that our hygiene is the place to start. So this is where the speaker tell that he finished his point and ready to go to the next one. So for the second connective that he used is internal summaries, which is a description of the speaker's previous points in the body of the sentence. For example, he said, knew everything I've been talking about. He said that now everything that I've been talking about seems to be great for us, but what about the animals? Now guess what? Their life get better too. So the speaker has concluded and summarized all his point and came out with a small conclusion. So the next connective the speaker used is signpost. Signpost is a brief statement that indicates the speaker is in the speech, which is to grab the audience attention. The speaker will give a question to the audience, but the audience doesn't have to answer the question. The speaker just want to grab the audience attention. For example, Leo Marshall did ask the question to the audience, which is, he said that, so what do you think? What direction do we take now? So this sentence is in a question sentence. This means he just want audience focus on his speech, and that is the way that he want to attract the attention of the audience. So now I will pass to the next member teams to present our speech analysis.
Greetings, my name is Najmi Hayati binti Sardin, entry number 257109. As for reasoning, the speaker relied more on causal reasoning throughout the speech because the audience want to know the causes and also wonder about the effects. For instance, here the speaker said about the antibiotics in animal production. Why? what the effects to make the animals more robust. The reason is when a disease strikes, the animal will be more resilient. So the speaker tries to establish the relationship between causes and effects. Additionally, the speaker also uses reasoning from specific instance in speech. When making a reason for a given situation, the speaker progresses a number of facts into a general conclusion. Here we can see the example. The speaker states 3 facts. From the fact 1, fact 2, and fact 3, the speaker made a general conclusion that is antibiotics resistant salmonella on the rise. This case though is likely to increase. As this example, the speaker thinks of all the general conclusions that arise. Next, for the emotional appeal, the speaker develops vivid examples that pull listeners into speech. For example, the speaker was speaking about feeding for the animals, better nutrition is important. So, what the speaker actually says when something like, think about it this way, blah blah blah. So, the analogy of people not feeling well and not feeling themselves a well-balanced diet gives second speech emotional impact and brings it to listener in personal terms. People who listen may well move to action as the speaker intends. From the first point is not really compelling. The listener may know their things to themselves. Yes, that's important and forget about it. Moreover, the speaker also used the words and phrase desired effect from what the speaker said, such as scare the hell out, change our behavior. UN predicts speaker's killer, we must start to act. Likewise, the speaker intends to make listeners feel fear, guilty, and afraid, which is thus encourages facts that can touch off an emotional response. That's all from me. I pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Najmi Atika Fitri Sufyan, 254970. Okay, today I would like to discuss and present the question number 11. What the methods are used to prepare the audience for any speech? Okay, the conclusion has 2 major functions. Firstly, to let the audience know you are ending the speech and to reinforce the audience understanding. Okay, the speaker who has carefully used the combination of things such as a choice of words, dramatic context, gesture, and pause, possibly loudness. Okay, this is the slide. For example, another method it used is another effective method might be compared to the dissolve ending and crescendo ending. Okay, dissolve ending is a conclusion that generate emotional appeal by fading step by step to dramatic final statement. By the way, the crescendo ending is a conclusion in which the speech builds to a zenith power and intensity. This is example. Okay, both the crescendo and the sub ending work out with a great care. Next, we go to question number 12. Okay, today I would like to present the question number 12. How does the speaker reinforce the central idea? Okay, I want to explain. The speaker reinforces the audience understanding the commitment or the central idea. Firstly, he summarizes the speech and with a quotation and refer to the introduction. Okay, in this article, the speaker summarizes the speech, which is the starting. The main point is the easiest way to end a speech. For example, look at in this slide. Okay, second is the speaker use the end with a quotation, the most common and effective device to conclude the speech. Here is a fine example. For this article also, the speaker gives the speech psychological unity is to conclude by referring to ideas introduction. For example, in this slide, okay, these three methods are appropriate for this article.